All right, team. Welcome to Unit 8, which is going to be FRQ review. This is going to be part 1 of our review. It's going to be graphs of F prime. The first thing you're going to have in part 1 is a model problem. If you need to pause a video to make a table of contents, you may do so now, but I'm going to keep moving. All right, anytime we do a FRQ, there's going to be a couple of things. I want you to open the FRQ on your computer so that you can look at it while you're doing this. Also open Desmos.com. I'm going to be able to show you the FRQ, but I'm going to be referencing it throughout, and it might be helpful to have these things open. If you need to pause the video and do those things, that would be fine. Anytime we do an FRQ, I want you guys to put your name on it. You're going to give it a little title. And also, you're going to remind yourself of the goal. Now, on the AP test, you don't need to get all 9 points on the FRQ. 4 out of 9 is going to be a 3, and 5 out of 9 is going to be a 4. So every time I do an FRQ, I'm going to remind myself, hey, I don't have to do it perfectly. I just need to get 4 or 5 points. After that, I'm going to read the entire question and identify the question type. All right, here's my name. My title is Graph of F prime model, and my question type is a graph of F prime. At this point, now I'm going to look at our question and read it in its entirety. I'm going to read the prompt, and I'm going to read all these parts, because I might not know how to do part A. I might be better off starting with part B or even part C, because again, I only need to get 4 or 5 points on this. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with part A, since I'm the teacher and I know how to do most of this. Find all the x-coordinates at which F has a relative maximum. Give a reason for your answer. Reason for your answer. Now, a lot of these problems are going to involve what's called a fun chart. I call it a fun chart because not only is it enjoyable, but when you make it, it kind of spells the word fun. I'll tell you what I mean. If I have the function f, I'm going to draw it when the graph of f is concave up. That's like my u. And I'm going to draw concave down, and that's going to be kind of my n. I'm kind of pushing it. The graph of f can also be increasing or decreasing. And the graph of f can also be positive or negative. Now, all of these problems aren't going to give you the graph of f. They're going to give you the graph of f prime. So here's the key. When f is concave up, like maybe it's x squared, f prime will always be increasing. The graph will be increasing. When f is concave down, f prime will be decreasing. When f, the original function, is increasing, f prime will be positive or above the x-axis, and when it's decreasing, f prime will be negative or below the x-axis. These questions are also going to ask you about the second derivative. And you'll start to notice a pattern here. When the graph of f is concave up and f prime is increasing, the second derivative is positive. When f is concave down, f prime is decreasing, f prime is negative. So we're going to reference this fun chart quite a bit throughout these problems. So let's go back to part A. Part A is asking for a relative maximum. Relative maximum. Well, when I think about a maximum, I know that the graph of f is going to increase and then it's going to decrease. That means we're right over here, team. F prime is going to be positive than negative. For example, let's make a graph of f. Let's say f looks something like this. I can see here is the max. Oops, I forgot my prime, f prime. Your graph of f prime is going to be positive, and then it's going to be negative. And what I mean by that is it's going to be above the x-axis and then below the x-axis. Here are the positive parts. Here are the negative parts. So when I get the graph of f prime, this is what I'm looking for. Oops. If I could find my FRQ. So we know that there's going to be a relative max right here at -2. This is the max of f prime. I'm sorry, not f prime of x, the original function, f of x. This is the graph of f prime. So I say relative max at x equals -2, and I get +1 point for that. And I say because f prime of x goes from positive to negative, and I get +1 point for the justification. Since I'm done with part A, I'm going to draw a line and get myself a new piece of paper.